Welcome back to another Overwatch Coach VOD review, and today we're going to be reviewing an Ana on King's Row, and I believe it's a gold game, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm aware that they said that this is their perfect ego game for them, and that's all I got for an introduction. So I'm not totally sure what we're going to get out of this game, but let's dig into it a bit and see what we got here. So this is our Ana, and let's see, we're running double sniper, and we've got Lucio to speed in the Ramatra. So the one issue I would have here with this team comp is, one, there's no mercy to pocket the double sniper, and I'm not totally sure what the Lucio's going to bring for Ramatra on top of what he'll bring to the double sniper situation. I think this could be rough. I feel like the Lucio is ultimately what doesn't fit in here. I feel like the Lucio should go Mercy. I'm not opposed to running Ana here, but yeah, I'm not totally seeing the usefulness of the Lucio here. So let's dig into this VOD a bit, and let's see what we got.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Stay focused. We have everything we need. Taking care of you.
So, alright, first problem I'm seeing here is you threw your nade into essentially nothing. Now, if we go back to about right here, you could have anti'd the Rhine right here. You also could sleep the Rhine right here. Now, if you throw your nade right now, right here, you anti the Cassidy, you heal boost your tank, which would give your Lucio a bit of an advantage, because the Lucio, again, the Lucio does not fit what's going on here at all. Yeah, so then we sleep dart into a shield, get no value, and then we get picked.
I'm not finished. Failure is not I won't let you fall.
Alright, so I like the Junkrat swap. The reason I like that is because at the moment, you're losing the frontline battle. Ramatra is struggling against Rhine. Rhine can be a counter to Ramatra. It's a little on the situational side of things. But in a case like this, I like the Reinhardt over the Ramatra. So if we're sticking with the Ramatra, then we need something to turn the tide of this fight. And Junkrat can definitely do it. And we obviously saw the Widow wasn't getting any picks. We're not properly supporting the Widow, mainly more on the Lucio side of things, with the damage boost not coming their way in the form of a Mercy. So I like the swap of getting off Widow, going Junkrat, because Junkrat can help melt the shield and make the Rhine play back and play a bit more honest. So now it kind of falls into, where does the Hanzo fit into all of this? And if the Junkrat ends up not being enough, I'd like to see the Hanzo go Bastion. And then at that point, the Lucio will start to kind of fit the more brawly style of team comp that we're starting to kind of formulate into that. So let's see what happens if the Junkrat's enough here.
Covering you.
So I would have pinged that. Ping the sim, get on a mic, call it out, let people know that there's a flanking Symmetra. The one thing I would have said to do differently here, if we run just a little bit, There you go. I would have played more in terms of in here, because you're going to see openings through this choke to potentially throw a sleep dart into. You'll see openings to be throwing your nade into. You might anti the Rhine. You might heal boost some of your team trying to force their way into this choke. And if you get shot at or dove, you've got a health pack that you can use to your advantage. You've got cover in between these pillars, or you could fall back here to get out. Might have given you a little bit better positioning to make something happen, because right now your team is struggling. And clearly just healing isn't going to be enough here. So yeah, the sim, where does the sim even TP? I kind of just want to see where she comes in at. Where did the sim come from? Sim, where did... Oh, okay, they dropped down on you.
Teleporter taking shape.
Interesting. So she just spies you out, sets the trap, and gets you. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. The only thing I can really say there is call it out, but they're just going to teleport out of there anyway.
You'll have to try harder than that.
I think we can win.
See, that... I just clicked off of you. But that's exactly the point I was trying to make before. And then you go and do it, and you've proven my point that I was making. So good job there. However, okay, problem there. One, no reason to wake him up. I guess you were probably doing it because you figured the sleep was about to wear off, which is probably the case. But if you are going to wake him up, anti him first and then shoot. Not the other way around, because that nade ended up not doing anything. So yeah, at this point, okay, so now you're going Rhine and Rhine, so now the Lucio fits a little bit more. However, because they're landing antis on your tank versus you not getting antis on their tank, it kind of starts to beg the question now if Kiriko might be more valuable than the Lucio, so that we can kind of start counteracting some of these antis. And it also puts pressure on you now to start getting antis on the Rhine, which you do. Okay, good. So we get one now. So now he falls back. So now at this point, you got to heal your tank so that he can actually go in and take advantage of that. So now as the Lucio, I'd like to see him going on to speed to getting the Rhine some mobility to moving in on this. And you landed a good sleep on a nanoed Rhine. Hopefully nobody wakes him up and they just let the nano expire while he slept. Yeah, and somebody woke him up. Good job not being in the hammer down. Okay, good. You got out of line of sight when you didn't have sleep. Good kill.
Easy for me, young man.
Okay, good use of a nade. Good use of a nade there. It definitely helped on your Rhine. And I'm totally oh, what happened there? You killed the Cassidy. What happened there? Oh, he got rezzed. How? I didn't even see the Mercy there. they're flying, and then they just fly right over you, but you're so hyper-focused on the Rhine, which I kind of get. I kind of was too watching that the first time. But yeah, so now you've got a pocketed Cassidy.
Objective A.
But at least you got the point.
Payload.
Gotta go quick.
So yeah, a little bit more focus there might have gotten you a canceled res, no dying, that kind of a thing. Hard to put that one against you though, because even I did. I saw the Mercy when she was flying, but I didn't actually realize she flew above you and over to the Cassidy. But it totally makes sense now that I think about it. So yeah, when you see that Mercy and suddenly she's flying around, you just maybe kind of keep an eye on her a little bit better there. But annoying, may ice walls strike again.
Close your eyes.
Good sleep. Good anti. Yep, nano to keep your Rhine aggressive. Push him back. Okay, good kill. Now just get 3 on cart and get the point. 3 on cart. Fall back, fall back, fall back. The Lucio's with them. They'll get heals. Push the cart. Push the cart.
I'm here. Keep fighting.
Okay. Might have an opportunity to land an anti here. Okay, nice. Only thing I would have said to do differently is... So first of all, when that ice wall's up, this segment right here is weak, and you shot at that one, shoot at this one. One segment will break. These ice walls aren't as tanky as they used to be, and then you can heal your tank. Now, once you land the anti, heal your tank, get like 2 shots, maybe 3 on them, and then try to take out the lamp, because this Rhine is very low. So once you land like 1 or 2 shots on your Rhine, start shooting at that lamp and get that taken out of there. Because that lamp is providing tremendous value, and that allowed the Rhine to survive. So somebody's got to shoot at that lamp. Now, you know, obviously you got to heal a little bit, but...
I'm here. Keep fighting. Payload mobilizing.
So the one thing I would have said to do differently there, stand on the cart, heal up, and then heal your Junkrat. That way the cart is still moving.
I'm ready to activate the sound barrier.
Okay, so one spot that I would suggest holding right here would be hold in here. So as soon as they start shooting at you, you can fall back into here. You can potentially start healing from over here or over here, depending on where exactly the fight is. Then you could always come back around over here and start healing. But this will give you a little bit more cover rather than kind of being out in the open. Like, obviously right now you're fine, but as the fight starts to progress, you might find being in a spot with a little bit more cover might save you. See, you just got Hammer Down standing over here.
Taking care of you.
At this point, get out. Just start backing out. Heal people as you're backing out, but get into a spot where you can easily start turning a corner as soon as they start shooting at you. Because once your tank is down, it's a lost fight. Because you guys don't, you just don't possess the DPS to overturn a fight like this. Especially when they're running a Pharah and you've got Junkrat and Sim. That's, unless your Sim is really good with landing right clicks on the Pharah, somebody's gonna have to swap really quick. But yeah, at this point, just get out, get out, get out, get out. Nice, good pick there. dodge.
I see you. You're powered up. Get in there.
So, okay, right here, again, you're playing a little too far up for my tastes. So, you're standing basically where I would want you to be right here. Why not just heal from back here? You've got a perfect lane to shoot down. It gives you a little bit of a height advantage, and you just shoot down this. So, watch this from just over here. Healing that sim would have been easier from over here, because you were kind of missing some shots. You would have gotten value off of the sim wall, because now you could go over here and be completely protected. No stray shot is going to come your way, if any were ever going to come your way. And this would have been your vision. You're not going to be in that sim ult. You're going to be able to out-heal whatever, well, maybe not necessarily out-heal, but you're going to be able to heal people that get frozen through it. You might be able to land a sleep on the Mei to keep that Lucio from dying. But being here would have given you such a much more advantageous lane of keeping that fight going, and a lot of support carry potential being just right over here. That was a good charge by the Rhine. And swap back over to you. So again, now that your tank is dead, it's get out. Okay, good sleep. Use that as a way to get out now. Like, your whole team should just be trying to get out. Wait for your tank and then go in as 5. So again, same position that I would have suggested before, and then as they start moving up and rounding the corner, then going to that first spot I showed you, which would be right there, or right here, one of those spots, depending on just where you're more comfortable at and what kind of vision you get from, you know, where they go. Because, like, remember, you're playing Ana, right? So you're a sniper. Use range to your advantage and then move up as you need to. Because right now, the way you're playing right now, you'd be more advantageous as like a Moira or a Kiriko. Or a Lucio, but there's already a Lucio.
I won't let you go.
Good sleep.
I see you.
So the only thing I would say, considering where you're at, is coming out of here, I would recommend not scoping, because what's likely happening is the enemy team doesn't realize you're in this room. And when you scope, you're leaving a trace of that's drawing a line of your shot to the Rhine, and they're going to see that you're there and that you're by yourself. And if this were a higher level game, pretty much everybody but the Rhine should basically see what you're doing and then just come and pressure you and kill you. But they don't do that. I don't know why they don't do that. They totally should. You've done everything to advertise where you're at, but they let you live. You shouldn't be alive right now. Or at the very least, you shouldn't still be in this spot right now, because you should have at the very least been forced out of this position. This also isn't a good position to be in anyway, even though they're not taking you out of it, but okay, good. You finish off Farah. I would use Nano as soon as that Rhine lands, because you're so close to getting the point. You've got the ult. Get it out there. Yeah, exactly. Use it and good. Alright, so you guys got it the whole way. Good. Alright, so looking at team comp, so yeah, alright. The only issue I've really got right now is this is the primary issue. They've shown that they're willing to run Pharah and then they go Torb Sim. That is concerning. You guys aren't willing to do anything to counteract a Pharah. Now, it looks like they're not starting on Pharah, so that's good for you guys. The only thing is that they've shown that they're willing to do it. So you should come out of defense with something ready to counter it for when they swap to it. Because when you guys swap to a hit scan, you guys have a way longer distance to go to get back to the fight than a Pharah doing a quick swap and basically being immediately into the fight. So that's really the only issue I have with team comp here. But if you guys are going to play Ryan, Anna, Lucio can definitely work. The only other thing I would suggest is maybe the Lucio going Kiriko to cleanse potential antis coming their way, because if you land an anti, Kiriko is likely to cleanse it. And that can lead into what I was talking about before with Anna and Kiriko. I mentioned this in a different VOD review. I'll bring it back up on this one for anybody that didn't watch that one. So the way the cooldowns work is that there is a gap of time between when an Anna throws an anti. If Kiriko cleanses it, Anna's going to get her anti back quicker than Kiriko can cleanse it again. However, you can get more value out of an anti if you force the Kiriko to make a decision. How do you force a Kiriko to make a decision? You land the sleep dart first before you throw an anti. If you land a sleep dart, Kiriko's got to make a decision on if she's going to cleanse the sleep and get the ally back up on his feet or not. If they don't do it, then you've landed a sleep dart and they've been stunned for however long until either your team wakes them up or until the sleep dart wears off. And then when you land the anti, then they'll cleanse that, but then you get full value out of the sleep dart. But if you land the sleep dart and they cleanse that, and then you can land an anti, you get full value of that. Most of the time, you typically, in my opinion, would want to see the anti lasting over the sleep dart. It can be a little situational, but on the general spectrum of, which one you would want to last longer, normally you want the anti to last longer. So try to land a sleep dart and make the Kiriko make the decision. Maybe they'll cleanse it, maybe they won't, but either way, that's how you kind of try to win that little chess battle there. And forgot to go back to normal speed. As far as position goes, this team is playing a little too far up for my take. I like to comment on Symmetras because I used to be a Symmetra main, right? So that's why I've done some VOD reviews for Symmetra players. So what I like to do as Symmetra, just to piggyback off of this for a second, is what I'll do is I'll throw a few sentries over here. And then when they die, if they're not pushing in yet, then what I'll do is I'll throw them at the choke, usually somewhere like around here or around there. Make them have to fight their way in and be as annoying as possible. And as Sim, I'm playing in this room and I'm doing everything I can to make that choke hard to get through. And then once they're through it, I throw my Sim turrets up here. And that way they cover me holding this position. So if they decide to try to pressure me in here, I've got some form of cover. Because most of the time supports aren't paying attention to me when I'm in here. But that's all right because I've got a health pack and I can use my sentries to cover me. The thing that I don't like about playing over here ultimately is you have a Widowmaker looking right down on you. And this giant shield... Where is my mouse? Isn't doing anything for all of this right here, that right there, potentially even right over here. And nobody's even standing behind the shield anyway. So this Widow could, if this Widow's good, they might pick this Torb off. They might pick the Lucio off, depending. And it's not a spot that I like to see people standing in. So your team is playing a little too far up for my tastes.
Here they come.
I have you. Keep fighting. I'm here. Keep fighting.
I'm under attack.
I keep you up.
Enemy here.
I won't let you fall. Kneel down. Rest up.
Nice sleep there.
I have you. Keep fighting.
So yeah, right now you're in a rough spot. I wouldn't be standing where you're at. I would have stayed in that room. You got out. No harm, no foul. That Widow did take a shot at you though. If it's a better Widow, you might have died there. Yeah, and then that Lucio, I feel like they were playing too far up. Now that there's a sim wall, now you're allowed to move up a bit. However, good sleep dart. Yeah, at this point, just back up now and wait for the next fight. Good kill. That's a good stagger, actually, with the Kiriko, because they could have teleported out of there. I'm not really sure why they were there to begin with. Oh, nice sleep. Good. Unfortunate that he got woken up so quickly, but at least you blocked the charge. Hold on. I want to watch this from out for a second. So what I want to say is when you went to go heal the Rhine, because you're solo healing right now, because I think the Lucio is coming out of spawn, right? Oh wait, no, he's not. Interesting. Okay, I thought he was dead for some reason. Okay, so you sleep that. That was a good sleep. Now, the one thing I want to say here is maybe a little too much focus on healing the Rhine. He's full health for the most part, you know, maybe like 90% or whatever. You do got some hurt DPS right now that might be a little bit more advantageous to be getting topped off as opposed to healing only the Rhine. Once you land the sleep, though, what I was going to say and what I kind of want to watch for a second, because you make the conscious decision of going to your Rhine and healing him, and generally speaking, the division of labor between an Ana and a Lucio is that the Ana heals the tank and the Lucio the Lucio is going to kind of do a lot of different stuff. So it makes the division of labor a little on the muddy side, but typically speaking, the Ana is the tank healer and the off healer heals the DPS. But what I was going to say is I might really just be pocketing the DPS here as opposed to going and following your Rhine in and maybe letting the Lucio, in this case, maybe go over to the Rhine and getting him out of a rough spot with like speed or heal or what have you. But yeah, because the Torb died, you probably could have kept him up, but that's it. However, if you don't go to the Rhine, hard to say if he would have died or not. Let's watch the Rhine once. So he goes in. Yeah, he would have died too. I guess it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, honestly. I kind of would have liked to have seen that Rhine not go so deep, frankly. But we're not VOD reviewing the Rhine, we're VOD reviewing the Ana. So yeah, I don't know. You either would have potentially saved the Torb, or you potentially saved the Rhine. In this case, you saved the Rhine. So it is what it is, and probably having the Rhine over the Torb is probably a little bit more on the valuable side. So, frankly, I can't really say anything too bad about it. However, this positioning here is a gamble you shouldn't be trying to make, because if that Widow picks you off, your team is completely reliant on a Lucio heal, which I think we all know would not be enough to keep this fight going. So yeah, and the gamble did not pay off. The Widow picked you. So how do you avoid not getting picked by the Widow there? By moving into this room. But you could, if you don't want to be in this room, you might even be able to heal just through standing through, like right here. But frankly, if you're in here, you're keeping your Rhine alive and you're doing it safely. Now, granted, your DPS aren't going to get healed, but I don't really like the Rhine being where he is. It's putting you in a rough spot. It's putting the whole team in a rough spot. When there is a Widow on the other team, you don't really want to play further up than right here. You just give this all up. If there's a Widow that can land a shot, because once you start playing up, you're now revealing yourself to that Widow. Now, if you're playing back here, yeah, the Widow can definitely move up to like here or here, but if there's a giant shield, it's easier to stand behind and then throw projectiles at them up there versus in their spawn. That would be the thought behind that. Well, it's good that at least the Sim wasted their ultimate, because this Sim wall did absolutely nothing. It was totally not needed. Yeah, so that fight was not anything to contest. That Rhine overextended and should have just waited basically where you're at, right here.
Nano boost is ready to deploy.
Yeah, just wait. Let your team reconvene here. Oh, what happened there? Hold on, we sped that up too much. Okay, so you're moving up, and that's going to be your first mistake. So, again, you're a sniper. Play back. Play, like, right back here. No need to go any further right now. Only reason you would want to move up is if your team goes beyond this corner right here. This corner right here. If they go beyond that, then you start playing, like, back here. Like, over here. But this right here is why you don't want to stand there. That's why. You're standing in an area that when you're pushing in, since you're dead, we don't really have to VOD review this fight, but this particular fight. But when you're shooting from over here, back up just a little bit to get this sim wall out of the way. But yeah, when you're standing here, you often will shoot projectiles over there, and that's exactly where you died at. So that's what you got to be careful of. Don't stand in the hot spots to get killed at. There you are.
Healing you. My ultimate is fully charged. Get in there. Doing you damage.
Join up with me.
Unfortunate you didn't have sleep dart there. But you got out. The Lucio bailed you, which is good. A good Lucio can kind of help keep the Ana going, bodyguard the Ana a little bit, speed her out of rough spots, that kind of a thing. So, again, same thing with the Widow from before. You got to be careful not to stand in spots that are going to get you in trouble. What I would recommend is playing like right here, because if you're playing right there and if the Ashe tries to shoot you, they've got to extend out a little bit to get to you, as opposed to kind of hugging that box right here. But if you're standing here, that also gives you a little bit of a mid-ground advantage and allows you to kind of see over the fight of where's my pen? Because this is going to be where the fight's going to happen, right in there. So if you're standing here, you've got a nice perch to shoot down on. You can throw your nade, land asleep, that kind of a thing, and it'll be safer. But if nobody's contesting the Ashe up there, it might be difficult. But that's where I would recommend you being. Let's back up just a teeny bit and go back to this.
You're powered up. Get in there. Much better.
Should you have naded yourself there?
You're powered up. Get in there.
I'm fine with you using Nano because the Rhine's basically point blank into the fight at that point. You use the health pack, which is good.
Much better.
Wait.
Much better.
Yeah, no, you didn't need to nade that. That nade didn't... Not necessary.
Enemy spotted.
So what I would say there, heal your Lucio, get him full health. He's full health. Let him wall climb or wall right up there and then go contest and pester the Symmetra, boop her off, that kind of a thing. If your Junkrat were alive, he could potentially go up there. But that's the one thing your team is lacking right now is mobility to get to high ground. And in terms of a support, the only other thing you could do about that is go Baptiste. Yeah, so again, you're playing a little too far forward. In terms of positioning here, if you guys are going to hold this lane, stand up here. You've got cover to use. You've got a bit of mid-ground again so that you're not going to necessarily take a fire strike to the face. And if the Rhine does decide to shoot a fire strike at you anyway, you'll have more time to react to it. You've got cover. You can duck and dodge it, that kind of a thing. So you won't be taking unnecessary damage there, because that fire strike that you just ate was unnecessary. You didn't have to take that. Yeah, so that death was off of positioning right there.
I still have some fight in me. I'm here. Keep fighting.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Let's break it. Damn!
So, in a case like that, I would alternate shots. One on the Rhine, one on your Rhine, one on the enemy Rhine. Like, just alternate. Do a little damage, do a little healing. Your tank is pretty much full health. You don't necessarily have to heal bot that until he gets to about right when you take this part out and he starts getting really low in armor. That's when you start pumping him full of heals. Kind of basically what the enemy Rhine is at. If that were your Rhine, that's when you start really focusing on healing him. But he's got a lot of armor to play with here, so just try to help him out, land a damage shot, land a heal, you know, that kind of a thing. That's what I would do. And frankly, you might have actually been able to land a couple DPS shots before really having to focus on healing your line there, but Yeah, at this point now, just get him back up to full health. Lead your hip fire shots a little bit. I know that's one thing that I've noticed that you've been doing a lot is you scope shoot a lot, and there's no shame in scope firing to land your shots, but I would like to see a little hip firing.
Enough whining. You're fine.
Yeah, so this might... Okay, yeah, you're back. Alright, yep, alright. Yep, now stay here. Yep, use your cover. This is a great nade opportunity. You land that, they're all gonna retreat. Unless the Kiriko cleanses it. But, either way. But what happened there? Hold on, what happened there? You threw the nade, but that... Did that just hit the wall? Where did that hit? So where I would want to see you throwing that is basically right in there, or you could land it right there too, because then you're gonna get the May and the Rhine. But somewhere in those two circles, that's where you should be throwing this nade. Where did you throw it? Yeah, so the problem is the radius for that nade basically goes like that, and nobody's there. But if you throw it like center lane, you're getting just about everything right there. Let's get back on you. So right there, when the Rhine landed hammer down, go into DPS mode and try to get a pick. Your Rhine's doing just fine on health. He was nanoed. He doesn't need to... You don't have to heal bot the Rhine when he's got all of that health to play with. When he's got all that armor, wait until the armor gets low and then go into heal bot mode. But that was an opportunity to get a little damage in as Anna.
أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا. انتي بأمان.
Yep, get your Torb out of there. Go back to your spot now. Go back to your spot. Okay, good sleep. Good sleep, but yeah, now get back to your spot. Good nade, better nade there. Okay, with the Ashe being there, now it's the time to get out. So this spot doesn't work anymore. So now you could try to hug this area, but she is going to be able to dynamite you if you do that. If you know she's used it, which I don't think she did. Yeah, she's about to have it. So yeah, that won't work either. So what you're going to want to do is heal and get out. So, just keep getting out, heal as well, what you can see, and then get to over here and start healing. And then the Ashe can't do anything to you. And then get back to this spot over here. And then this is where you're going to want to be healing from. And then just heal as much as you can along the way of getting to there. It would either be that or trying to land a sleep dart on the Ashe. But that's going to be a rough one to hit. Not impossible, but rough. Good sleep there. I'm surprised this Ashe isn't shooting at you more. What is she doing? Oh, she dropped. Okay. I'm surprised they dropped. But since they dropped, staying where you're at, totally fine. Yep, good nano. Now sleep the Bob when you can. Okay, he's dead. That works, and good hold. Okay, yeah. So what I would say here is one, I'm just going to say POS for positioning. We walked you through a bunch of different spots you could have potentially used at different times there. So just be a little bit more using your range as an Anna. Anna's a sniper. Use the range, that kind of a thing. Two, nade placement. Just be a little bit more careful on where you're throwing those nades. And as far as 3 goes, hip fire. I didn't see you really hip fire much at all, and the few times I noticed you hip firing, you were missing. When you start getting into higher level games, those trace shots that you do from the scope might point you out to diving DPS, maybe a Lucio, maybe a tank. And there's going to be times where you're going to need to be a little on the stealthier side. So hip firing some of those shots out to kind of keep you healing, but also kind of being a little on the hidden side might be a little advantageous for you. So maybe start mixing in a little bit more hip firing coming out of your gun. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.